cat. The cat, people. The cat. The cat. What can I say? Pardon me. What's that old song? Pardon me, Roy. Is that the cat that chewed your new shoes? I know. Old joke. Bad old joke. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Linda McAllister. It's finally, she's here to keep me straight. Linda McAllister is finally here to keep me straight, keep that mouse off my face. It's your job. The cat. Apparently, we're going to have to chat with him first. Yep, we're going to have to chat with him first, so we'll just get the cat cam and we'll just get him over with so he'll go in the other room and join his friend. So we'll just look at him. Can you hear him? I'm sure you can. So any of you watching the recording, fast forward through the whining cat part. Now you get to listen to him purr. Now you'll get to listen to him purr. All right, there we go. Now he's hanging off the table. Put your head over here and look at the people. You want it up here. Look at the people. People want to see you. Talk to the people. Talk to the world. Can you talk to the world? Sorry about having to look at the computer behind me, but hey. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Yes, I'll get out of the picture so you can just look at him. There we go. Level would be nice, wouldn't it? Well, while you're chatting with him, I'll have a little cuppa. How about that? Oh, the cat. I'm telling you. If we can get this part over with to start with, then maybe he'll go in the other room. Of course, he's so close to the camera that it wants to autofocus on him. Okay. Everybody take a deep breath. Yes, that's still probably not level, but anyway. Sorry you got to see all the crap on my desk and everything, but that's just kind of how it's going to be for the moment. Anyway, all right, let me go back and say hello to everybody. Hi, Dorothy, Nancy, Beth, Cindy, Sandy, Joan, Jean, Gail. Hi, Nancy Dale. Another Jean. Hi, Carolyn. Okay, Linda, Tam. Hi, Tori. Hi, Tunder. Don't know if I just said hello to you or not, Joni, but hello again. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Beth. Beth, I love your pages that you show on Instagram. If you don't follow Beth on Instagram, you should. I forgot what her Instagram handle is. Is it Max Bits or something? You stick it in the chat if you want people to come follow you. Hey, Chris. Oh, cat cam, I tell you. Put your head over there. They don't want to see the rest of you. They want to see your head. If you're going to be, let's clean up your face. Yeah, get the eye boogers out. Okay, talk to the world now. They're here to see you. You want to see them, so talk to them. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, he's just being such a pain at the moment. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Nightbot. Show us your teeth. He doesn't have any. He has 2 teeth. He has one there. Wait. Oh, he has 3 teeth. My mistake. He has 3 teeth. 2 on the bottom, 1 on the top. That's all he's got. And some little nubbins here and there, and that's it. Hi, Angie. Hi, Margaret. Oh, he is running on high today. His motor is on high today. Hi, Nui. Hi, Sylvia. Oh, goodness. Okay, it's at MaxBits. MaxBits. That's Beth's Instagram tag, whatever you call it. It's where you find her on Instagram. She does. It's MaxB. Is it BLTS? Maybe it's BLTS. Anyway, I just found her. I just searched her name and found her somehow. Hi, Ina. Anyway, if I said it wrong, somebody will type it in the chat better. Anyway, sorry. You should follow Beth Broadway. BL. Okay, MaxBLTS. There we go. Okay. She does some really interesting art journal pages, along with about 100 other bazillion people. All right, let's see if we can get this up a little bit further. It'd be nice if you didn't have to see my computers. Just lay down here. Just, you know, cat wrangling is work, people. Cat wrangling is work. Bye, Carolyn. Good to see you. Oh, my goodness. So how's your week been? Clearly, my week has been all about the cats. Yeah, there's a song all about that bass. No, around here it's just all about that cat. It's all about that cat. Oh, goodness sakes. Hey, Carla. Carla Kate's Fish, we miss you. Hi, Linda Pierce. Oh, you're welcome, Beth. I agree. And Chris, is Chris here? I thought I saw Chris earlier. Two Gales. Oh no, it just gave a cat a bath. Oh no, that's the bad news right there. Chris, he's in your lap to dry him. Oh goodness. Chris, Chris, what is your channel? Yes. Chris, what is your, tell me again your little people that you do. She does these darling characters, and I see them on Instagram all the time. I don't know if she has an Etsy store or website. I should know this thing. Oh, Carly can't type because she's got Mr. Pissed Off Kitty in her lap. Well, if I was a cat, I would be angry too. Cats don't like baths. Unless your name is Maru. That's okay, Dorothy. No worries. No worries. Oh, Linda tried to keep the crap off her desk, not the cat. She tried to keep the crap off her desk, not the cat. Hi, Denise. Littles by Chris. That's what it is. Littles by Chris. I follow her on Instagram, so that's where I see all her little characters. They are so cute. They're so adorable. Hey, Laura. Yeah, so yeah, she has an Etsy shop and she sells on Facebook. There you go. I don't do Facebook much, which is clear for anybody that knows me. Sorry, blurry. You have to lay back over here. You can't get up there. He wants to get up there and rub his head all over the camera and scratch his face, but that will last about 2 seconds. All right, so maybe if I can do this, it'll help. Oh, good night, nurse. Do you think you could go in the other room now? Are you done being scratched and looking at everybody? Do you think you could go in the other room? Hey, Shauna. I don't know if Race is here today or not. I communicated with him a little bit earlier. I don't know if he's here or not. Yeah, you're drooling. Can you go in the other room now? Because we're gonna paint a picture of you today. I know that there's lots of people that have all kinds of social media things. I just shout them out when I think about them or when I see somebody in the chat. So, or quite honestly, the truth is, when I remember, oh, that looks nice, it just closed off your face. I usurped your airtime, your FaceTime there. So anyway, it's no slight to anybody else that I didn't say anything to. Okay, we're gonna put this thing away. We're gonna put you away, okay? Can you go in the other room now? Charlie's all up in the window. All right. All right, you go in there with Charlie. Yeah, you go in there. With any luck, he'll be quiet. If you know anything about Siamese, you need a lot of luck for them to shut up. Yeah. The best thing I ever did was to bring them into the studio space here. They're not suffering. They have 850 square feet of space to live in. They're not suffering. Oh, cat hair. The best thing I ever did was put them in here where there's a door that I can close, because that is how we survive each other. Because their voices. Oh, their voices. Their melodious, sweet little voices. Yes. Hello, Marion. Oh, no. Your sewing machine broke, Chris. That is bad news. Hi, Tanya. One of my favorite things that Chris did, and I was going to buy one, and I just didn't get it accomplished. I just didn't get it accomplished. I have no excuse other than I just didn't get it done. She names all of her characters, which I'm going to tell you, that is no small task, because I do the same thing with Clausman's Santas. We name all of them, and I give all of them a story, and or I write a story for them. And Chris names all of her littles. And she had one named for so many of the different people that she follows online. And one of them, she named one for me. That was so sweet. Hello, Patricia. Okay, so let's go. Let's see if the camera's gonna be good to us today. Did everybody cross your fingers and toes so that the camera's gonna be nice today? The story is that Race is coming home at some point in the next few weeks. I'm not going to say exactly when, because, I don't want to jinx anything. But he's coming home, and hopefully we'll spruce up a bunch of stuff by then. Yeah. So. Let's see. Anything else? All right. I don't see anything else I need to deal with. Okay. So, anywho, let's take a look. I hope all of your fingers and toes are crossed, because we want the camera to be nice today. Although I have another plan. My little cover image here is starting to chip off around the edges. So I'm not quite sure. If it goes past the stitching, I don't know what I'll do. We'll just have to figure something out. It's only an art journal. Only an art journal. It's no big whoop. I painted that once. I can paint it again, right? If I can find the pattern. Okay. So last week we did, the one thing about these burlap pages is that they shed and they shed and they shed. So I find myself just picking burlap stuff off. Anyway, last week we did this page, and this is, it was burlap. Okay, so it was burlap. And I did the flowers with the corrugated paper that was from the inside of the coffee sleeve, the Starbucks coffee sleeve, because I have a bunch of those. And this is burlap also. This was some printed burlap. This is just for anybody that didn't see what we did. And what else? The background, the spots in the background came from a napkin. And so I just took this napkin, this spotty napkin, and it now looks like Swiss cheese because I cut out all of the little spots that were that color, because that was kind of the color. Stop, I'm shedding the spray check. Yeah, it would be good. It would be good if I do that, but I probably won't. You know what I mean? That's a great idea. Hi, Mary. I probably should, but I probably won't. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Muppet, but it's the Muppet, and he needs, well, actually, Muppet's a she, so first of all, we'll just say Muppet's a she. And it was on a canvas. Yeah, this was a canvas, stretched canvas, and I took it off of there, put it on here. That was all Mary Attier's fault. She's in the chat, because I saw her do that. She took something she painted and put it on made a journal cover out, and I'm like, I'm gonna so do that. I just ripped that right off. As Laura, the Jersey Crafter, says, I monkeyed that, which is a very flattering thing to do. I monkeyed that straight away from the Mary Attier. Anyway, it's kind of fraying around the edges, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so this is what we did last week. Hey, skinny cat Carrie, how are ya? Yeah, wall space, exactly. I know, lazy bones. That's right, Dorothy. That's right, lazy bones, that's right. Too many other things going on, you know what I mean? So, all of this is either the corrugated paper from the inside of the coffee sleeve or paper. This is cardstock that I ran through my tube squeezer, which also happens to corrugate paper. So this is a tube squeezer. You can also buy a tool, I think, from Fiskars, which I have one, and I thought it didn't work, and after the stream was over, I used it, and it's like, yeah, I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't using it right. And it worked fine after the stream. It always works fine after the stream. Have you noticed that? Things always work fine. If they don't work fine on stream, they will work fine after the stream. Always. That's what they do. They always work fine afterwards. Anyway, so that's what I used with the corrugate cardstock to make the corrugated paper there. So Laura monkeyed the term monkey from Lizzie Brewer. There you go. So monkey see, monkey do. There you go. Oh, Carrie, it's good to have you here. So anyway, these just happen to be the right color. I took that napkin, I cut out the spots. This is just to give you ideas in case you want to do it. I don't know why you would, but you might. I cut out the spots, and like this one right here would work too, because there's such a little tiny bit of yellow, or you could hang it off the edge. Like here's one with the yellow right there. And so I cut them out first, and then I peeled the 2 layers off, the 2 backing layers, and then I just put them on here with, I don't know, matte medium probably. So that's what I used to make like wallpaper. Because it was just, I have a thing. Okay, true confession. And I expect everybody in here to raise your hand if you are in the same true confession, camp as I am. I have a problem leaving white space, or in other words, blankness, whether it's on a journal page or any place else. If there's space, I think it needs to be filled up. Is anybody with me? Can I hear an amen from anybody? I just cannot do it for any reason. Just can't do it. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, there was just too much like burlap showing in the background. Couldn't leave it. So that's why the spots are there. And then I used fine liner bottles filled with black and white and Diary Light yellow to make the spots. And I put some little spots down here in this motif with some cobalt teal, which was also in a fine liner bottle. Carla cured herself with a Logical Nonsense collage book. Well, Carla, good on you. I'm telling you, I need, I I don't think the cure would help me. I don't think the cure would help me. So anyway, just to get a little bit of the turquoise down here in the vase, there's black fine liner down here to kind of anchor the vase to an imaginary surface. That's good, Carla. Good for you. Dorothy says, you know me, less is more. Well, I don't know, Dorothy. Some of you guys are good. Some of you guys are good. I'm an epic fail with that, but it's my book, so I can do what I want, right? So anyway, I have 2 of these little calendars. I'll show them to you. I bought these after Christmas, and I clearly don't use them for calendars because it's not stuck on June 18th. Both of them are. I use them, I rip them off, and I use them in art journals. So this one is, I don't know what the name of it is or anything, but it's just, you know, it's got pretty like watercolor backgrounds, and it has some images, but a whole lot of, it has a lot of word art in it, which I really enjoy the word art. I have a thing about that. Anyway, this one is just all different kinds of quotes and interesting little background things. Like, you know, I'll take this apart and I'll cut those out and I'll use those in a journal because I love that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's where this came from. That was one of these. And I had ripped it out of the calendar and kept it, and it was sitting on my desk because that's what they do sometimes. Carla said she didn't think she'd get cured of that white space thing either. But she did. She likes it now. Good for you. Hi, Marilyn. Oh, Marilyn's getting the circle of doom. Yeah. Sorry. Nothing I can do about it. I fail too, Beth. I certainly do. So anyway, this was sitting on my desk. It has nothing to do with this. Okay, nothing. But it's an art journal, so I was tired of it floating around on my desk, so I decided to glue it down. So I painted the background just with a brayer and the same paints that I used to brayer on a little color over here. I detail all this on the blog post, which is at HowToGetCreative.com. You'll see it right. It's probably the most recent blog post, and the blog is free. Anybody can read the blog post. Click it, take you over there. And so I just brayered on the background, and then I stuck this down. Otters hold hands when they sleep to stop from drifting apart. Just think about that cuteness today to keep your spirits up. So, you know, here's the thing. Hi, Robin. Here's the thing. At the risk of being philosophical, I kind of think of people being together in groups like this and many other, you know, billions of groups across the internet during this whole isolation sort of thing that we've been challenged, this isolation challenge we've been dealing with. I kind of think of it like that, like we're all just a bunch of otters holding hands through the internet to keep us from drifting apart. I know it's too deep. It's just too deep, people. It's too flippin' deep. Yes, it is. Anyway, so I just stuck it in there. I put some turquoise paint around it, and then I used some paint pins, and I did some little corner do-wah-ditties around the corners just because, and then I did that thing with the writing border, which was, I think it says, butterflies are flying flowers. It says something else, but I don't know what. Anyway, it's something about flowers. So that's that. Okay, so that's that, people. That is that. So we're going to come here. We are going to come here. Hi, Becky. Hi, Amy. Is it Amy? Ami? I don't know, but hello, welcome. Hi, Janice. It's true, Beth. She said there's so many more things that connect us than things that separate us. It is true. Anyway, I just love that little image of otters holding hands so they don't drift apart. And so I like the thing of keep your spirits up. You know, if you don't get anything else out of this, just keep your spirits up. So there's glue that came through on the back side of this burlap page, so I have to do something, you know, I have to do something there later. Hi, Kimberly. All right, so what we have, this is why Chance was determined to be out here, because he's going to live on this page. He's going to live on this page. I know it may not look like him, but you know, sometimes this looks like Muppet more than other times to me. But I decided that we were going to have to put Chance in this journal because he drives us all bananas. Hi, Tracy. He drives us bananas. A me? Okay, a me. I'll try to remember that. If I don't, feel free to correct me. If you just put that in the chat when you show up, I'll remember, maybe. Okay, so what we're going to do, I don't know if this is going to work. It's my art journal, so I really don't care whether it works or not because there is always black gesso. And black gesso is your friend. Believe me, I have blacked out my share of things. So I drew this, and I will take you through the process, okay? So you don't think I'm some kind of genius. Okay? I don't want you to think I'm some kind of genius, because I'm not. All right, I started with a picture that was a snapshot in my phone, I think, which I stored in my computer. And then I had to go hunting for this silly image last night. This was an image from our course, Mining Your Muse, which there's a link to that in the description box below the video if you want to know what I'm talking about. And he's sitting in amongst all of the different muses, which they are forms. Some people would call them dolls, some people would call them figures. I call them muses because each one of them is a different part of me and expresses a different part of me. But anyway, we won't go there. Anyway, he's planted himself in the middle of all of them. You can kind of see there's heads here and there, and yeah. So he planted himself in the middle of this. This is several years ago. He looks a bit younger, but then didn't we all a few years ago look a little younger? Hi, Sophia. Hi, Cheryl. So anyway, I took this picture, I cropped it down just so I could get him. I made it as pretty much as big as I could on this sheet of paper, and then I started enlarging it and playing around with it. And because I was trying to get it bigger, and at some point you get it too big, you know. So at this point it's a little bit big, and but I got the right size that I was after, but I've lost the detail. Okay, so we have a chance in many sizes, and then I printed this one out, and this is a typical pose for this cat because you saw that earlier today, right? This is a typical pose for this cat. He will get on the table. This happens to be in my sewing room, which is where they stay. This is my table. And I was trying to sew, and the sewing machine it's to the right as I'm looking at it. My sewing machine sits over there. Actually, right now the sewing machine is here on my table. It's been here for weeks and weeks and weeks. But I have a wonderful sewing table that Clausman built. And when he decides that he wants attention, this is what he does. He gets on the table and he hooks his feet over the front edge, and then he looks at me. And if I don't pay attention quick enough, he starts talking and talking and talking. Of course, the whole time he's purring like crazy. So I even put something over him. I put fabric or something on top of him, thinking that would, because that's what this is. I thought, well, that'll make him go away. Nope, did not. But anyway, I liked his face and kind of the coloration, so I printed that one out. Okay? Okay. So then I took one of these. I don't know which one. Oh, this one, because it has tape on it. And I made a copy of it with a tracing paper, okay? Which you can see why I did all this ahead of time, because it take way too long to do this. So I traced the basic outlines, and then I went back and I gave him glasses and a bow tie, okay? And then I took another piece of tracing paper, put that over this one, and got rid of a lot of the extra stuff. That's right, Sophia, that is right. Oh, he is so, oh, he's always ready for a close-up, always. So that's how this came to be, okay? That is how this came to be. And I went over the most important lines to me. And I just used a Sharpie, that's all. So there's some extra lines in there that I may or may not transfer. Okay, that's how I got from there to here. So we're going to put him in here on the white page. As I said, I don't know if this is going to work. It might not. This is graphite paper. This happens to come from Michaels. This is inexpensive graphite paper. My favorite brand of graphite paper is Mona Lisa. Who couldn't love a graphite paper with that name? Hello, Peter the Great. Oh no, that is not good. Sophia, when a cat does that, you don't know where you're going, do you? You don't know who you're going to be visiting. And back then, you could get yourself stuck in a loop and you couldn't get out of it. Okay, so we're going to transfer this. All right, we're going to transfer the lines. And then here's the process that's going to happen. Then I'm going to go over the lines with a marker of some kind. Okay? Going to go over it with some kind of marker. And then I got these napkins, which I can't wait to use. So we're going to use them today because I couldn't wait any longer. They were 74 cents. Do you see that? 74 cents and 99 cents. Look at the images. Look at the images. Are those the cutest things ever? So we'll probably use this one because it's bigger. Because why not? But I had to get both anyway, so I did. So we're gonna put that on top of the image, and then I'll paint, because I should be able to see it come up through the napkin, then I'll paint. I don't know. We'll see how far we get. Are those the cutest napkins you've ever seen in your whole life? Cute, huh? Let's open them. I haven't even opened them yet. I hope they're, I was going to say, I hope they're printed all over, but really, what difference does it make? I have 25 of them. So does it really matter? It doesn't really matter. I don't know if our Tuesday morning is going out of business or not. I haven't had the heart to check. Have not had the heart to check. Yeah. All right. So these came from Hobby Lobby, actually. Yeah, it's an overall pattern. Is that cute? Look how cute that is. Hey, Barbara. I'll tell you, that is cute. If they'd had more, I'd have bought more, I'm afraid. So I think I bought what they had, which was one big and one small. So that's a good thing. Okay, let's go. And let's put this image on here. I'm just going to do the major lines. So you guys are going to have to just sort of watch me. So what I've put this on with is green painter's tape, because that's the color I had, not because I need green. It just happens to be the color. I like green or blue. Some people like purple. Go figure, right? And I've taped it down, hinged it. You need to hinge it. The way that I like to do it, I like to hinge it with a couple of pieces of tape, because then that allows me to lift it up and look and see if I missed something, because most of the time you will miss something. And I think, just to help myself, I'm going to put a piece of, and this is tracing paper. Okay, tracing paper. If you don't have any tracing paper, get yourself some tracing paper. It is a helpful supply to have in your art world. Okay. Okay, Chris, you didn't hear me say anything. All right, then for the most part, I find it best if I start at the top and work my way down. So what I do, rather than doing the entire image of anything when I'm going to transfer it like this, I will do some, and then I'm going to stop and look to see if in fact it's transferring. Okay, can you see it? It's light, but that's okay. I tend to transfer things kind of lightly. Can you use a different color so you knew where you drew? I'm not sure what you mean, Carla. Hi, Debbie. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. This is a stylus. I'm not using a pen. So this is a stylus. You mean use a different color of ink? Is that what you mean? Like using an ink pen? I suppose you, if that's what you mean, I suppose that you could. The honest truth is, this is the way that I learned. And I like a really fine line. This stylus I have had since the 70s. Don't anybody come rip off my stylus, okay? It is my favorite. I've used the Martha Stewart stylus set also. It's my next favorite because you can't get this one anymore. And honestly, I don't know if you can get the Martha Stewart stylus set, but there's like 3 of these in a set, and there's 6 different ball tip stylus points. And so I've used that as well, and it works fine. It's just, you know, we go back to that which we're comfortable with. One of the reasons that I don't use a marking pen, like a ballpoint or felt tip or whatever, one of the reasons I don't use that is because I don't want to screw up the lines of my pattern. Because you never know, I might want to use this again. I don't know how many times that's happened in my life, not very many, but yeah, so anyway, I just go slowly around, and 9 times out of 10 I will miss a line and have to, you know, sketch it in by hand, and I learned to do that. Yep, I learned to do that. So we'll just put this in. I included the sparkle dot in his eye, which will get painted out, but it's there. And sometimes I miss the line completely and have to go back over it. So let's take a look. Yeah, so you see here where I kind of screwed up the line. Sometimes you can take a white eraser and just come in and take out the extra lines. And an eraser like this, which is my favorite one, this is the Pentel Click eraser. Sorry, I'm getting a little tiny cutting mat here. You can get a pencil eraser, like it's a whole, I don't have it in here with me, but it's a stick eraser, but it's a pencil with like a lead pencil, but in the core, instead of being graphite or something, what's in the core is just an eraser, and you can sharpen it just like you do with a pencil sharpener. Or you can take a little mat, cutting mat like this, which is the world's cutest little OFA mat or something like it, self-healing mat, and a craft knife, and then you can just simply shape it the way you want. Then you can get in here, and then you got to control how much you click out so you don't break it off. But you can go in and clean up stuff that way too. Sunny Hoot, that's what I use. Okay, so now this only works if you keep this really hinged up here. If you allow your top tracing to move, then you're not going to like yourself. Hello, Miss Allie K. Hi, Jan. Yeah, Margaret says you can get those styluses from the nail tech stores. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so I've got the top part of the eyes done. So let's keep going, shall we? But no matter how much you want my stylus, you cannot have my stylus. Just telling you, you cannot have it. All right. It's best if you actually tape your tracing on the top and one side. That is best, but that's not what I did. So sometimes you just got to wing your way through. And remember, this is just an art journal page. It's not anything anybody's ever going to pay for. It's just an art journal page. And we may go so far today, and then if I can leave it alone, I'll come back and we'll finish it. I'll work on it some more next week if you guys want to see that process. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a dotty line in here just to kind of let me see where his facial shape is. And just some reference things where there was some color change in his fur and so forth. Alright, and I did draw him a bow tie because it's Chance after all. Chance would wear a bow tie, don't you think? If he's going to wear glasses, because you know he's a Siamese, so he can't see straight. My vet one time told me what the reason was for their weird looking eyes, but I didn't pay attention. So I don't remember. I would dazzle you with my knowledge if I remembered, but yeah. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear the lawnmower people outside, but they're not even in my yard. They're in somebody else's yard. Never fails. They will come on Friday. They will come on Friday because that's just how it happens. That's just the how of it. That's what my son used to say when he was little. Mommy, I mean, that kid was wise from the time he was teeny. He'd say, well, Mommy, that's just the how of it. Yeah. Kid. He gave me gray hair real early. So that's why I had to start coloring it. You can't hear it? Okay. All right. So I think I might give myself a little bit. No, I'm not. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over just the outlines with the Sharpie, the major shapes. And then if I need to, I'll come back and I'll put it on again. This is the advantage to having a pattern that you haven't screwed up. You can put it back over your image and you can add the detail lines back in if you need to. Any hoot. And see, it has a little home that it lives in. I have kept that little home all these years for my stylus. I know. But I store my my gel pens back in their original packaging too, which makes no sense to anybody but me when I'm trying to show people how they come. Anyway. Hi, Ann. Okay. So there we go. And then I put my little graphite pieces. Some of these are well used. Some of these I have had for years and years. I keep them all in the package because if you're working over something that you don't want much of the graphite to transfer on, then it's really good to have something that's mostly used up. But there you go. Okay, so can you see that he's kind of on there? Kind of, sort of. All right, so I'm just going to leave my little painter's tape hinge on there, which is a recipe for disaster because what happens is then they start sticking to everything. Okay, so we're going to go over here. Ah, yes. And I have a board. This is actually an ironing surface that I use. It's on a riser. And I'm going to put it on this because I think maybe you'll be able to see it a little bit better. I think when I start painting it, you'll definitely get to see it better. Sorry, but I'm going to have a little break. Hey, Josie. Okay. So how are you guys doing today? You doing okay? I hope you are. I hope you're doing great. And if I miss any questions, then please put them in all caps in the chat. All caps. All right. I know I'm zoomed in pretty close, and I'm going to have to turn it toward me. So we're just going to do the best we can here, okay? All right, so hopefully this pen's going to work. Keep the mouse off your face, Barb. Linda McAllister's here. She's watching. She is watching out for you. Okay. So we're just going to put in the basic outlines. And I've done nothing to this surface. This surface is, this is the Dina Wakley Media Journal that we're working in, the first one that she brought out. And I don't know which paper this is. It's either watercolor or it's, I think there's a mixed media paper in here too. I don't know which one it is. And pardon the headshots of me that you're going to get every once in a while because I got to lean in so I can see what I'm doing. All right. Oh, Linda McAllister got new rice papers. Oh, my. Oh, my. Hi, Nash. I love me some good rice paper. Hi, Nancy. I put your cards in the mail today. I put your cards in the mail today, so they should be in your possession, I would say, by Monday. I didn't get him out sooner because I was just busy with some stuff. Look how his ears are. Is that honestly how they were? Yeah. It's because he's at a bit of an angle. That's okay. We don't care. All right, here we go. Sometimes I will put things in when I'm tracing or doing something like this. I'll put things in like the sparkle dot in his eye. Just because, even though I'm going to paint it out, I'll put it in because it gives me practice in finding it. Not finding it, that's total bullshit. It is, it reinforces the placement and stuff. Hey, those of you that have Netflix, oh, you're welcome, Nancy. I'm sorry. Apologies, I didn't get them out sooner. But anyway, those of you that have Netflix, there is a show that I watched. It's kind of like Project Runway, except it's for flower sculptures. for lack of a better term. It's called I think it's the Great Flower Fight or something like that. If you want some serious inspiration. Now, some of these characters are a little interesting, and it's only like 8 episodes or something. It is to me, it's so worth watching because of their approach to design and color, and it is like Project Runway in the fact that they're given an assignment, of some wild way out kind of thing. It is so great. It is so great. So anyway, watch it. I think it's it's something like if you search for Flower Fight, you'll find it. Okay, Sandy, what brand of Traveler's Journal refills do you use? I use the Moleskine. This is what I use. I use the Moleskine Cahiers journals. They come in ruled and plain and graph paper. These are the ruled ones, okay? You can see it right there. You have to look for this little thing right here. Otherwise, I have made the mistake several times, more than once, more than I care to admit to, of buying the plain ones. And I cannot write. Yeah, plain journals just become art journals. Anyway, it's a set of 3. Okay, it's a set of 3. They're the Cahiers, and the size is right here. Let me see if I can zoom in. Woo, that was close. Sorry to you, everybody. Apologies to anybody that just got sick. 13 by 21 centimeters, 5 by 8 1/4. Okay, so that's what it is. This is what they cost me right here. Locally, you can get them on Amazon a little cheaper than that. So anyway, that's what I use. Those are my, either that or I make them. Yeah, either that or I make my own. I love the paper in the Moleskine journal. I am such a paper snob now. Such a paper snob now. Hi, Curly. Okay, so let me keep going here. See, I get myself sidetracked, and then it's problems. It's problems. Then it's problems. And it's a challenge to do this and talk at the same time. This surface is a bit bumpy, so it's kind of playing with my... pen a little bit. I'm just using a Sharpie, ultra fine point Sharpie. All right, I'm gonna try to keep my head out of the shot, but yeah, that might not happen. So I thought about doing this ahead of time. However, I was getting something on the website that will come out via email tomorrow. I was getting that done. I was still doing that at 11:30 last night. Even had to get a hold of Race and say, I'm stuck, I need some help. Ugh, man, I'll tell you what. Don't you hate it? When you have to wave the white flippin' flag, don't you hate that? Ugh! I just want to be able to do it myself. I don't want to have to ask anybody for help. I just don't want to. Yeah, wave the white flag. Of course, I torture myself for a good long while before I do that. It's true. It's true. Anyway, so I didn't have time to do this last night to get it on the page, and I thought, well, all right, Chance, your glasses may have to be black because I messed up that line, but no worries, Chance, no worries. So anyway, I didn't have time to do this last night. So anybody that this is just irritating the life out of, which I'm sure there will be somebody, you know what you can do? Fast forward. Fast forward. There's a scroll bar at the bottom of the screen. And you know what? You just drag that little, there's a little icon, a little ball or something that shows up. You can just drag that right on across. And it's like magic. It just scrolls through all the stuff. Now, when you're here live, you don't have that luxury. Although you can go backward in time when you're watching live, but you can't go forward because I don't know what I'm going to say next, you know? I know. One of my favorite comments I ever got, see, random crap comes up in my head when I'm doing this. One of my favorite comments ever was somebody that told me, this is years ago, when I very first started. So, you know, when you very first start doing this stuff, you don't feel super confident anyway. And whoever it was said that she thought that she and I were about the same age, which I don't know how old she thought I was, but anyway, she thought we were about the same age. And she really liked what I did, but she didn't like my eyebrows. Okay, whatever. She liked what I did, but she did not like my eyebrows. I'm like, okay, whatever. Right? Okay, I'm going to put this line coming down here, just because. Yeah, didn't like my eyebrows. Sorry, God gave them to me. I'm not sure what you want me to do about it. So sometimes I get some interesting comments because, you know, I irritate people for whatever reason. I can't imagine that I would irritate anybody. Yeah. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is use my eraser. Listen, when you're doing this kind of stuff, it's hard enough to just keep your wits about you, let alone think about stuff like your eyebrows, you know what I mean? Oh, shoot. Anyway. Alright, so all I'm going to do is just take out some of the lines where I didn't, some of the graphite lines where I didn't exactly trace over them, because this is a bit of a bumpy surface. Didn't like my eyebrows. Well, I'm sure if I looked at you, there'd be something I didn't like about you too, you know? Yeah, that's right. Exactly, Becky. Exactly. Okay. All right, let's see if we can go back to the other camera here. So there's our little kitty cat. He kind of looks like Chance, and he does look quite cross-eyed, so it's all good. It's appropriate. Bye, Barbara. It is so true, Becky. It is so true. I don't know. I think there's a lot of really unhappy people in the world, and they just are what they are. You just gotta love them. You just gotta love people for who they are. I mean, you know, even the cranky comments, or cranky, you know, people who think I'm not doing something the way they want me to do it. you know, it's okay. They stopped by. They took time to leave a comment, even if it was kind of cranky. All right, come on now. I think these are only a 2-ply napkin. Oh my goodness, this is being obstinate. Obstinate. Here we go. Ah. Linda doesn't get many comments, so she's all good. That's good. Yeah, Dorothy, that's right. I don't like the word on your nose. I mean, whoever it was, she was trying to be helpful, I'm sure. You know, she just thought I had on too much. It was a matter of makeup. I had on too much makeup. I'm like, well, if I didn't have on any makeup, you'd think I was sick. 'Cause when I was in college, one of my favorite comments ever, you know, that I was in college in the 70s, and you know, I was none too confident, believe me. And there was a guy, I think it was a guy, that came up to me and he said, is there something wrong with you? He said, you must not feel well. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so we're going to put this on here. I don't think there's another layer of backing on here, but we're gonna look at it again just to make sure. Okay, we're gonna look at it again. I think it's a 2-ply. Maybe I should look at the label. Do you think it'll tell us? 2-ply. You did. All right, that saves me a lot of headache. Hey, Shoe. Okay. Oh, yes, Chris. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Actually, the most difficult, I'll talk to you while I do this. What I'm doing, I'm going to get ready to glue this on, and I'll see if I can see it through. If I can't, I'll go over it again. What I'm going to use is, I'm going to use PPA, which is ArtQuest Perfect Paper Adhesive in matte. I find it works better with napkins, so that's what I'm using. The hardest person I ever had to deal with in a class situation was not me teaching, it was someone else teaching, and I was facilitating, because we had brought her into the store where I was working at the time. My goodness, this person had a diva complex. Holy moly. She had such a diva complex. And you want to talk about somebody that was tough to deal with. I'm like, golly. Yeah, so it wasn't me that was hard to deal with. It wasn't a student that was hard to deal with. It was a teacher that was hard to deal with. I mean, she wanted... Well, first of all, she sent all of her samples ahead in a suitcase of, not only of samples, but a suitcase of patterns. And she sent those ahead, and then we were responsible, we meaning me, I was responsible for inventorying. When she inventoried her stuff, when it was over with, when the class was done, I'm getting a brush, hold on a minute. When she inventoried her stuff, when she was all done, anything that wasn't there, we had to pay for. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute on that. Thank you very much. I will be inventorying that before I start. Like, now you're not going to catch me on that saying, well, we had this many of these patterns all the way through. It's like, no, you didn't, because nobody's bought anything, and I have the list. Yeah, so I should have known when we started out. And then I had to go pick her up at the airport, which I had to drive several hours. Well, like 2.5. It wasn't like to the other side of the world or anything, but I had to drive to go pick her up at the airport. And this woman arrived with the most enormous suitcases I have ever seen in my life. Mind you, we already had one or two. I forgot. I think maybe she sent one. And then she brought these other just enormous suitcases. I had borrowed a car to go get her because it was just like, you have this little voice in your head that goes, you should take a bigger car. Well, I should have taken a van. I should have taken a full-size flipping van with me to pick this chick up. I should have known there was a problem to start with. And then all the way back, she was complaining about something all the way back to our town. Should have known. I had worked so hard to get ready for her. Worked so hard. And then she came and she moaned and groaned and complained from the get-go. It was the most miserable day of my life. I almost put her out. I almost pulled over. And I have a lot of patience, but I almost pulled over to the curb to put her out on the highway and going, this just isn't going to work so well. I'll send your suitcase back to you. Yeah, I did. It was bad news. So anyway, yeah, she was far worse to deal with. And she didn't even know how bad she was to deal with. That's the thing. She didn't even know she was that bad to deal with. Yeah, that was a memory. But as far as like difficult students, I'm pretty good at dealing with difficult students. Okay, so I put some of this on here. So we're gonna, this perfect paper adhesive, I'm still gonna get some wrinkles in it because I'm not gonna spend too much time making sure that I don't have any. If you really want to work on it, you can lift it back up and you can smooth it down, and you can get until you get the paper napkin so saturated with water that it dissolves. So you have more working time because it's glue, but it's not sticky. And this perfect paper adhesive, I believe, was formulated to begin with for paper napkins. Use with paper napkins. Clearly, you can tell I'm not watching the chat, so I'll be back with you in a minute. Anyhoot, so you can be really meticulous about this if you want, or not. We're going to try to hit somewhere in the middle where we're a little meticulous, but not a whole ton meticulous. I just thought this was the cutest, the all-time cutest print, this napkin. Yeah, so I'm just going to let the wrinkles live the way they want. It's like, let the wrinkles live. Let the wrinkles live. So I'm just going to release some of there's some tension going on there. We don't want our napkin feeling stress and tension. But anyway, that's the reason I'm using the PPA. And it tends to keep things flexible, so it's a good glue. A little pricey sometimes, and it's a little hard to find sometimes. Okay, you can't go over it too much, because if you do, I'm going to start lifting. All right, let me check on the chat. Let's see. Okay. Hi, Suze. Sorry, I'm going back in the chat. Yeah, thanks for the thumbs up. Anybody? Oh, yeah, Sophia. Red M&Ms. No, it was worse than that. She wanted a certain kind of soda that had to be caffeine-free because her religious preference wouldn't allow her to have caffeine, and on and on and on. It was just like, it was the craziest thing ever. It was the craziest thing ever. Yeah, it was crazy. But anyway, okay, I'm going to put a coat of this on the top also. So it was the craziest thing ever. And she was going on, she was from out west, and she was going, and I live in the Midwest, and so she was going to go from here to another location closer back to the airport. And so we were responsible for getting her from here to the next location. So I still don't know how that happened, but anyway, one of the people in our group offered to take her. And I'm telling you what, I never thought twice about that. I said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "You know, she has these enormous suitcases you're going to have to contend with." And she says, "That's okay. I have a great big van." She did. She had a full-size van. And so she loaded that woman up. When I sent her on her way, it was a 2-day class. When I sent her packing, I mean, I had it down to a science, man. I got her inventory done because we had sold a lot of stuff for her. I got her inventory done. I had her check written. I had everything done. So when that class was over, she was ready to rock. I packed her up, put her in that van, told the girl that was driving her, I said, "Thank you so much. Have a great trip. Good to see you." And the famous parting words from this woman, the teacher, were, "I can't wait to come back here. You've treated me so well." I'm like, ain't a chance in you know where that's going to happen ever. And it never did. Yeah. And it never did. And that, as they say, is the rest of the story. Oh, mercy. Yeah. So I'm going to just put the rest of this glue back in the bottle. And put the glue back in the bottle because it's expensive enough. It's not super duper expensive, but it's expensive enough that I'm not going to just waste. I don't waste product. Even though I have a business and, you know, I can take the cost of things off my, take it as an expense, I absolutely do not waste my stuff. Because you know what? The less stuff you waste, the more stuff you can get, you know, other stuff you can get, right? And if you need to stop this from sticking, this is what I do. I use, because this was a brand new bottle, I use petroleum jelly and I put it around the threads and also on the top. You got to get it on the top as well as the threads. And then that's going to stop it from sticking. But you have to replace that every so often. You can't do it once and then that's the end of it. You got to have it on there more than once. Oh, she had no self-awareness at all. She thought she was... Well, I talked to a friend of mine about it who was a business consultant, and he said because he was familiar with some of her quirks just because he was that kind of person. He just knew stuff about people. I don't know. He was a very unusual kind of person. And I said, and I'm not always real perceptive. Sometimes I need somebody to help me sort stuff out. And no, not teeth. No, not teeth. No, not teeth. Use petroleum jelly. Petroleum jelly is your friend. Anyway, he said, and I thought this was classic. He said, "Oh, well, apparently you missed the memo about how she was the queen." And I'm like, I missed that. Yeah, I did. I missed that. Okay. So, let's go back here. This, by the way, is really wet. So, it's going to take a hot second. Pardon me while I plug in my heat gun. My heat tool. I got so tickled. I don't know when it was. Was it 2 weeks ago? So what I'm doing is just drying this. I was watching Tim Holt's demo on embossing powders and stuff, and his embossing gun kept quitting on him, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it is the bane of your existence when you're doing things live and you have it all planned out. You know what it is you need, and then your equipment screws up and you don't have another piece of equipment. You're like, oh no. Oh, it happens to everybody. Yeah, it happens to everybody. Oh yeah, the petroleum jelly on the lids, the bee's knees, as far as I'm concerned. I know I learned that from somebody. I didn't think it up. Cannot tell you at all where that came from. I know that like Dee Dee Willingham uses, she puts plastic bag over the mouth of her mediums and stuff. She'll put a plastic bag over it and then screw the lid on. That works too. Sometimes other people will use plastic wrap, just different things. I'm telling you, for me, it is so simple to just have a jar of petroleum jelly. You're in love with your new heat gun, Laura? What kind did you get? What kind of heat gun did you get? It's just so funny when you realize that everybody, if you do anything live, and I used to record all of my classes. For years, I recorded all of my classes in one take. One take. Which meant that I had to have everything, just like a cooking show, I had to have everything stepped out so that I would, pardon me, work up to a certain point. And then I would, pick up the next thing that I had done to that point, which meant that I spent hours and hours and hours, I'm not complaining, preparing samples. And because that way we could do it all in one take. The pressure from that was enough to just make me lose it. Because if I really messed something up, I had to go back to the beginning and I had to start over. And if I hadn't made enough samples to take into account that I might mess up, it was trouble. Yeah. So since then, I have changed the way I do things. But the bit of doing it live and in one take, beginning to end, you have to allow yourself, and your audience has to allow you some grace. They don't always do that. Don't always do that. Marion has a Wagner. What did you get, Laura? The Wagner. Yeah. I've heard several people have that one. That's a bona fide heat gun, man. That is a bona fide heat gun. I know there's one at the YouTube channel. It's a couple that does pouring, lots of pouring. They're called Artists Till Death. And they have a heat gun that they use that's a professional that you can dial down, you know, or you can take the heat out of it and all that kind of stuff. And that looks like an awesome heat gun. And you can control the airflow too. I don't know what brand it is. I think they sell one. Anyway, okay, back down to the table. All right, I think it's, you know, it's not cured, but it's kind of dry. Yeah, air dry is a great thing to do. It really is, but I don't always have the patience. Is probably a good thing to say. Probably don't have the patience. So I'm just getting rid of the excess stuff. If I were Packer Dye, she would probably rip off a little bit and leave the rest, because she likes the raggy-taggy edges. I have to say I don't. I know, shocker. You know, we all have our things. Some people don't like an alligator mouth on a book or a journal. That really doesn't bother me. Go figure. But I don't like stuff hanging off the edges so much. You know, we all have our things. So what kinds of things bother you guys? Tell me that. It's always good to know that I'm not the only one that has something that I can't deal with. And I figure if cutting off the edges of the paper is something I do and that makes me happy, that is easy. That is easy sledding. If that's all I got to do to keep myself happy, that is easy. That's an easy button. Laura doesn't like the sentiments. Oh, Marion's lying to us. She got a Milwaukee heat gun. There it goes, Marion. You can't trust what she says. I'm telling you, I know that about her. Not so. Marion is good people. I know for a fact. She is great people. I'm sure most of you here are. I just happen to know that about Marion because she's one of the VIP members and I get to see her and talk to her for real. I get to talk to her for reals. All right. So what other kinds of things don't you guys like? Having to be the one making all the food. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about art, but I hear you, Becky. I hear you. We all have our things, don't we? All right, I'm going to shoot this a little bit more. Dorothy doesn't like hairy wall hangings. What do you mean by hairy wall hangings? What does that mean? You mean like fringe? You mean like fringe hanging off the bottom or something? Or things extra threads? The show isn't long enough, Elaine says. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. So I think this is going to be dry enough. Like I said, it is not cured. John doesn't like glue that dries sticky. Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm not the only one that doesn't understand. Beth doesn't like cleaning. If you were here, you know that we share that sentiment. Okay, so can you see? You can see Chance through there. Look at that. You can see him. All right. So let's see if we can block in some painting, shall we? What time is it? 2:23. We have time. You're welcome. You're welcome, Denise. Come right in. I'm just watching the chat. Bits of cotton and stiff and stuff frayed edges. Got ya. Got ya. Don't send anything with frayed edges to Dorothy. Okay. Alright. Let's get us a fresh piece of palette paper. I think we've about used this one up. I'm going to move this off because otherwise we've had good luck with Mr. Camera. I need to give my camera a new name, a good name, not the one I've been using. Alright, I'm just going to use craft paint to paint him. So I just need to get some grays and stuff. So I'll be right back. Give me a minute. Had to get some water too. Alright, water. That's clean, believe it or not. Just picking out some paints. I'll be back in a second. Alright, so I've got some shades of grays and white and blacks. Paint boogers. Yeah, paint boogers are nasty, aren't they? Nasty. Nobody likes to pick paint boogers. Alright, so I have some colors here. I don't know what color. I have that one already in a small one. Yeah, so we got Quaker Gray, Mudstone. This is a good color for Chance. It's not my favorite color in the world, believe me. It's kind of making me go, ugh. Drizzle Gray, Neutral Gray, White, and Soft Black. I probably should have black too. Okay, so I have soft black and lamp black. The soft black, that one has a distinct brown tone to it. So the one on the top is a brown black, and the one on the bottom, so it's a warm black and a cold black. All right, any questions? Ooh, sticky brayers. Sophia doesn't like sticky brayers. Yeah, that's typical. You know, I was one year I was painting Santa Clauses for Clausman, because he carves wooden Santa Clauses and I paint them. So he does all the carving and all that stuff, finish work with the wood carving part of it, and then I get them and then I paint them the way I want to, which doesn't always match with Clausman, but you know, hey, it's what it is. We have to stay married because I can't carve and he can't paint. So anyway, where was I headed with that? What triggered that? don't even know where I was going with that. See, sometimes you just lose the train. Sometimes you just lose the train. That's all right. I'll find it in a minute. I'll get back on the track in a little bit. You know, another thing that drives me crazy is lids that disintegrate. That is exactly what this did. See? Just trying to get that lid off, the plastic disintegrates. That makes me crazy too. I mean, it's literally disintegrating. Literally. Coming apart. How can you not make paint lids? You'd think these were cheap paints. I guess they are. Anyhoot. So now I've got all these plastic lid lid crumbles on my palette. If I wanted texture in my paint, I would put it in on purpose. All right, so we got some of that. We'll do some of this. Yeah, sticky brayers, but I don't know what it was I was going to say about it. I don't know. I don't know. See, that's terrible. Start saying something and then you sidetrack yourself. You can't even remember what it was you were going to say to people. And it's like, man, it was so important too. It was profound. It was so profound. All right. So a little soft black. Oof. Soft black jumped right out. A little black. All right, so we got soft black, and then we'll put some white out. Hey, Mary Beth. I saw that. Xandra had a brayer that melted. I saw that. Hi, Ann. I saw that. I'm like, wow, that is one for the record books. I didn't even know you could melt a brayer. Anywho. All right, so here is our palette of such interesting colors. Oh, and I need blue because I need blue for his eyeballs. Because he has pretty blue eyes. Let's use whatever color this is. Whispering turquoise. That there is nothing about chance that whispers. Nothing. Nothing. All right. I have no idea how far we're going to get with this, so we'll just start painting a little bit, see what happens, okay? You all up for that? I got no idea. Yes, thank you all for joining me today on this crazy chance adventure. If you're new here, welcome. And what we're doing is we're making an art journal page based on Chance, my cat, Chance. If you don't know who he is, you can scroll back to the beginning because he made his appearance early. I'm just getting some brushes out here. He made his appearance. He made his presence known. We'll just say that because that is the kind of cat he is. That is the kind of cat he is. All right. All right. So we'll go with that, and if I need more, I'm just going to have these. This is a class on the website, by the way. It was a preseason class, and one of the classes. These are sushi mats made into the sushi mat. Is that what I did with this one? I think it is. Anyway, made into a brush roll. Okay. All right, so let's paint his eyeballs because I know Dorothy's here, and if we don't have eyeballs in, Dorothy's gonna lose. She's gonna lose it. So let's put his eyes in. And when I did, all right, let's see if we can sneak in here for a little closer look. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time keeping a train of thought going here today. Oh, paint teacher. Yeah, my painting teacher back in the day, we always started with the eyes, always. And she said, and I quote, let's get rid of that. She said, you got to start with the eyes because whatever it is likes to watch you paint. I'm like, oh, that's a little creepy, but okay. A little creepy, but a-okay. And you know, that is exactly what I do. So when I'm doing Clausman's carvings, I always start with the face. And I get the eyes in as soon as I possibly can. Because I do, it's where the character develops, you know? It's where the character develops. So what color glasses do you think, based on where we are with this, what color glasses do you think that he should be wearing? The Muppet wore red. She had red glasses. You know, she had red glasses. Right? So what kind of glasses do you think Chance should be wearing? Yellow, blue, yellow? Oh, thanks, Sophia. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. So thank you, everybody who took your time to come spend time here today. If you enjoy what I do, you can check out HowToGetCreative.com. There, it is a membership website. We have literally dozens and dozens of classes there, all different lengths. Some of them are really long, some of them are short. Some of them are tips videos, some of them are, well, they're just all different kinds of things. Oh, he's looking cross-eyed, and that is exactly how he looks. Yeah, that is good. I'll put the sparkle dot in here. He won't look quite as cross-eyed. He looks so cross-eyed. Oh, golly, that is how he looks. Orange or yellow, sophisticated silver, dark purple, blue. You guys aren't helping me. You guys are not helping me. Metallic purple. I think I might have that. I don't know. All right. It'll be a while before we get there, but we'll see. Or maybe we'll put him in as soon as we get the eyes done. You never know. All right. I got to get a smaller brush so I can put in his... all right. Where's my little brush here that I like? Oh, I can't find the brush I want, so we'll just use this one. We'll just use this one. These are inexpensive brushes. I don't have super good paint brushes, and that is because I find with acrylic paint, it doesn't pay me to have super good brushes. So I buy inexpensive ones and I paint with them until they split and carry on. And I mean, and some of these cheap brushes I have had for ages. Oh, the thought train. The thought train just keeps leaving the station today. Trying to hold up a conversation, concentrate, and do something is proving to be challenging here today. Look at those blue eyes. Look at those blue eyes. He is going to be just a fun caricature of who he might be in real life, but this is not meant to be realistic. It's just a little cartoon kind of thing. Gold with gold speckles on the tie bow. I'm not putting in the bows. It's just the front part. That's all we're doing. We're not going to be too fancy here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way, but you know. I had a really wonderful painting teacher when I first started painting. I haven't taken classes from anybody for a long time. She was great. And she would tell the craziest stories. Back at that point, we were doing oil paints. Yeah, that preceded the days of acrylic paint. Wasn't even a thing. In fact, people who were painting with oil paints looked down their noses when the acrylic paint came into being. It's like, oh no, why would anyone do that? The only reason we ever used acrylic paint was to put in a background, for goodness sakes. Yeah, things change. Things change. You finally get your act together and quit being the painting police. Yeah, painting police. She could tell some stories, man. She had 3 kids. And she could tell some stories. I like him. Acrylic paint, when it became really popular, was like the late 70s that I remember. Now, it may have been around before that, but that's when it became easy to get a hold of. Oh, oil paint snobs is so true. Oh, yes. Bye, Beth. Okay, so I may add more to the iris of his eyes later. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, and then the part under his eye, kind of around his eye, that is a black. And so I'm going to use a soft black. So it's not quite so harsh. I started doing oil painting back then. It was decorative oil painting. It wasn't fine art oil painting. I started doing it when my son was really small because it was how I could get a break, because I had a stepdaughter and a baby. So my kids were 13 years apart. So we started one in college and one in kindergarten the same year. Yeah. And anyway, that was my escape away from everything, was going to paint class, and I went every week. And my mom, who loved babies, she had the best time keeping our son. I mean, she had a baby bed that was called a porta-crib, and it was like a bed for a baby, but it was one that folded up, and it was up high like a regular crib, but it wasn't as big, and it would fold up. And I don't know whatever happened to that thing. It was a cool old thing. It was a cool old thing. Okay, so I'm going to put a little of this down here. But she loved keeping him. Oh my goodness, she loved keeping that baby. Well, this paint is not going to last very long on my palette today. God. Not going to last very long on my palette today. It is drying up quick in here. I'll be spraying some water on it here in a minute. Okay. Kind of looks like him. It kind of looks like him. All right, so let's give him some place to look. Give him a place to look. Hi, Signa. Yep, playpen. It was kind of like a playpen, this thing was, except it was tall. And, but it folded up like a playpen. Oh, you're cute, Chance. You're cute. I like you. You're cute. His nose is kind of gray, so I'm gonna put his nose in there too. While I've got these, I'm gonna use this. What was it? Color. I said, oh, this is a good color, but I don't like it much. What was it? Was it Mississippi Mud? What was it? What did I use? Mudstone. Mudstone. Tell you, the poor brain is struggling today. She was working overtime last night. Waving that white flag, having to wave that white flag all the way to California, going, help, help. Help me, help me. And you know what? When I wave the white flag, it takes him all of about, probably most of the time, less than 10 seconds to answer the problem. Sometimes that just, I'm so grateful, but I'm so irritated too. It's like, how in the world? Because I've already struggled with it for 30 minutes or more. So anyway, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us today. We're going to watch this cat come to life a little bit. Look how cute he is. Look how cute he is. Hey, Lizzie. Lizzie knows what a porta-crib is. I didn't know you were here, Lizzie. Hi, Fast Quilter. Fast Quilter Sandy. She remembers the days of the stigma against acrylic paint. I know. I know. Yeah, let me tell you. The days of having a teenager and a toddler at the same time. Whew. When I was young, I was a young mom. I was a young mother. Alright, that's not the color I want. I'm gonna have to get another color here. Yeah, I'm trying to make a shading color. Well, that one might work. Trying to make a shading color on my palette right here. I know, it's either, I can't do both. I can't have the palette on the screen and have you close enough that you could see what I'm doing. I was a young mom back in the day. Yes, I was. Boy, this paint is drying quick. All I'm trying to do is to get a little bit of shading on this blue before my paint goes completely away. Get out the spray bottle and spray. See, then I start getting into this kind of stuff and then I can't talk. So what I'm doing here is just kind of trying to get his eyes to kind of roll back in his head a little bit so they don't look flat like this. They look maybe a little more rounded. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. I got to get some water. So I'm going to spray my palette. Maybe that'll sustain them a little bit longer. Norway will not cooperate with a U.S. drama-free Friday. Why not, Cigna? Why not? Hi, Barbara Sabo. Why not? All right, so I'm just going to put a little more. What I did was I mixed a little bit of the regular black with a little bit of the blue. And then I'm coming back before it gets completely dry, getting a little, wiping off the brush, put a little blue on, and then blend over the top of it with a little bit of blue. And then I promptly got some black or some blue in the black part of his eye. So when that happens, you just come clean yourself up. I'm painting a little too far away from my face, which probably sounds weird, but it is so much better for me if I am really super close to my face. And then I take my glasses off. Anyway, okay, so those aren't perfect. I can see them from a distance. That's all right. They're close enough. Close enough is good enough. Sometimes close enough is good enough. All right, let's put a little shading on this nose. A little shading on the nose parts. And then he's probably going to have a little pinkish on his nose because he does have a little bit of pink on his nose. A little bit of pink. Okay, Dorothy, see you later. So this is Wild Rose. These are these paint bottles are Delta Ceram Coat. Some people call them cream coat, but they're really called Ceram Coat, like ceramics. Acrylic paint is definitely its own animal. There is no getting around it. Because if you mess around with acrylic paint the least little bit too much, what you end up doing is digging a hole and you'll take the paint right back off. It's an unusual material. It's an unusual material. Okay, let's paint the glasses. Hey, Judy. Your English is better than what it seems. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Teresa. We have several Teresas here today. I'm so glad you're here. We call it auto incorrect. That's what we call it, auto incorrect. All right, so because it's just an art journal page and it doesn't really matter, I think that we're going to do metallic blue topaz glasses. That's what I think, because they'll bring out the blue in his eyes, don't you think? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's paint his glasses, shall we? And then let's paint his bow tie. And that probably will be the extent of what we get done today. And if you are interested in watching the rest of it come to life, well, we'll work on it next week. That would be great, because then I would know what I was doing. And I don't have to make it up. Okay, so let's give him some. And this is a dazzling, or folk art metallic blue topaz. I most of the time use dazzling metallics, which is what I started to say it was. It's a good thing I looked. Oh, this brush is too small. One of the things I learned to do when I was painting it with oil paint was to use the largest brush I could possibly use for a given area. That was the rule that we were taught. And it was a real challenge at first to learn how to do that, to use big brushes. But you get a better, especially with oil, you get a better blend if you don't mess around in the paint too long. And and consequently, if I choose a brush that's too small, like this one, it just frustrates me. But if I get out another brush, that means I'm going to have to clean this one. There's one thing about acrylic paint. You do not let it dry in the brush. If you use Murphy oil soap, sometimes you can let it soak in Murphy oil soap and you can bring them back to life. Actually, it's the best brush cleaner that I've tried. The other one is pink soap. Pink soap is very good as well. It's actually a brush cleaner. Murphy oil soap is actually furniture cleaner. But Murphy oil soap is really good to clean stencils and brayers and all that kind of stuff. It will take off the most caked on crap. He's looking kind of handsome. He's looking kind of handsome. Right color. The right color. Yeah, it's the right color because it's bringing out the color of his eyes. He would approve. He definitely would approve. Don't you think it's a good color? Okay, so we're going to do this one. We're going to do the other frame. Glasses frame. Well, anyway, if you can learn to work with bigger brushes, you will have a better result. I see some people that paint with these tiny, tiny little brushes, these great big areas, and I'm like, give me that brush. I'm going to give you a brush that fits. But you know, it's what everybody's comfortable with. You got to paint. You got to work with what you're comfortable with, and a lot of that comes from what you learned from the person you learned from, and the tools you learned with how to use. Anyway, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. As Janet Merle says, jelly bean. You know what I mean, jelly bean. Yep. And then be careful of where your hand is so you don't lay your hand in the part that's wet. When I've told this before, but one of the things that we painted just for fun one day was a raccoon. And it was so cute. Oh, those were cute raccoons. If I could put my hand on one, I'd show it to you, but I don't know where it is. And I painted that raccoon on all different kinds of things. It was so cute. Again, done in oils. And I started painting when our son he was really young. I mean, he wasn't walking. That's when I started. And so he grew up with me having oil paint stuff. Canvases and, wooden stuff. A lot of it was on wood, plaques and clocks and you name it, furniture and all kinds of stuff. I painted my cabinet doors with Rosemaling. My upper cabinet doors at the house we lived in. It was a bunch of doors too, man. Rosemaling is a Norwegian style of folk art style of painting, and there's different kinds of rosemaling. The kind that I used, I loved the Roglan, I forgot how you pronounce it, style, which was very symmetrical, and then there was Telmark, and I used Telmark was the style that I ended up doing on these cabinet doors. Anyway, sidetracked myself again. Listen to me, honestly. Oh, he's cute. Don't you think he's cute? All right, let's do a bow tie. Oh, yeah, he's got good glasses on. They're metallic. See? Can you see how they're metallic? I like it. All right, let's paint this bow tie. Maybe we'll give him a metallic. Think we should do the same color or something similar? Maybe we'll do something similar. I have this one too, aquamarine. We'll put this one on. So anyway, I painted this raccoon, and I had worked so hard teaching my son about oils, so you know they wouldn't stick there. He wouldn't stick his fingers in it. Mary wants a gold bow. Hi, Joyce. I know, of course she does. Of course she does. Of course she does. Maybe we'll put gold polka dots on it, Mary. How's that? Would that be good? Is that a good compromise? Is that a good compromise, Miss Mary? So anyway, I got this. Cannot talk and pay attention to what I'm doing here. I brought the raccoon home, and I thought he is going to love this, because when he was little, and by this time he's talking a mile a minute, and he said he loved the magazine Ranger Rick. And we had lots of Ranger Rick things, because he was like the perfect age for Ranger Rick. And I brought home, and Ranger Rick was a raccoon. And so I brought this home, and I thought, oh, he's going to just think this is great, because, you know, this is Ranger Rick. He's going to love this. And I brought it home, and I showed it to him, and I said, what is it? He never missed a beat. He looked at me, and he goes, it's wet. it's wet. Oh, golly, that kid was cute. He was so cute. What a great kid. What a great kid. He was such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Don't tell him I said that. He's going to get the big head or something. Yeah, he will. He'll just get the big head if we tell him I said that. Yeah, it's wet. Oh yeah, in fact, I have one piece of rosemaling I know I can put my hand on. I wasn't great at it. You know, the true rosemalers, they're amazing what they do. I mean, it's all stroke work. So, you know, you got to get the consistency of the paint exactly right so that it comes off of your brush the way it's supposed to. And you know, my ability to do rosemaling was not quite that great. You know, I was more of a put a pattern down and fill in the pattern and then do all the stuff on the top of it. That had to be stroke work, where you just load the brush and add all the trim and stuff over the top of it. But I was never quite as accomplished as I would have liked to have been, because I loved rosemaling. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But let me tell you, I had my fill. I don't know if I ever even took any pictures or saved any pictures of the cabinet doors. Holy mackerel, that was a lot of work. They weren't very attractive cabinets, which was why I decided to Rosemall them. And I did all the upper cabinets. And I think there were like 30 doors or something. Oh man, it was a lot. Oh, it was a lot. And of course, many of them were facing doors that faced each other. So the pattern, I reversed the pattern. Now, trying to get your mind wrapped around going backwards on some of those designs. Yeah, it was crazy making. But yeah, they were beautiful. And then people would come over to our house. I had people say, "Where did you ever find wallpaper like that?" Because they assumed that what I had done, because it was an inset on the cabinet doors, that I had put wallpaper on the inset of the doors. That was where the design came from. I'm like, if you had any idea how many bazillion hours are in each one of those doors, you would not. I mean, they don't mean to be insulting by any means, but it's definitely insulting when you have hand painted something. And then we moved from that house, and then I had people say, "Well, are you going to take the cabinets with you?" It's like, no. No. If I want Rosemall cabinet doors again, I'll paint some new ones. I am tired of looking at these. I got the pleasure out of painting them. You know, I didn't need to take them with me. Did not need to take them with me. Acrylic paint can be so maddening because it dries so fast. People who are really skilled with acrylic paint, my hat is off to you. Because it can dry so fast. If you want to see the piece of Rosemaling, tell me and I'll go get it. All right. Bye, Dorothy. Aww. Yeah, I did all of the upper cabinets. I didn't get the lower one done though. All the lower cabinets. I didn't get the lower cabinets done. I did not. My attention span was just gave out on me before I got that done. Gave out. So I'm just putting in a little bit of shading here. You know, and this is one of those things you could mess around with this I could mess around with this for a really, really long time. It's an art journal. I'm not gonna mess around with it too long. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of shape so it doesn't look quite so flat. And then just for Mary, we'll put some gold polka dots on it. Because Mary likes gold. Mary's a gold girl. Aren't you, Mary? She may not even be here. She may have left. She may have left us. It's all right. If she's gone, we're going to put some gold polka dots on it anyway. Okay, good enough. You want to see the Rosemaling? Okay. Hang on till it was a big old, Debbie, it was a big country kitchen. So it was big. It was a big kitchen. It was like a kitchen, dining room, you know, the whole thing. All in one. All right. I have Emperor's Gold, so we'll use Emperor's Gold. This is the brand I usually use in metallic because I like it. All right, so let's see if we can get a little bit of gold here on the palette. That was more than a little. You know, I went to Hobby Lobby last week, which is where I found the napkins, and I was shocked at how empty the paint shelves were. Shocked. Yeah. Supplies are not as plentiful as they were, for certain. Okay, what I'm looking for here is a brush that has a dull end on it. All right, that'll do. Okay, so we're gonna dot this bow tie. So before I do that, just let you see how it has almost a holographic kind of look that paint does. Okay, so what I have here is, no, don't do this now, camera. There we go. Okay, so what I have is a paintbrush that has a flat end on it, or kind of flat-ish end. It's not pointed, in other words, and I have a puddle of fresh gold paint. It needs to be fresh, okay? If it's not pretty fresh paint, this doesn't work so well. So dip the end in, and then start, and you want to put the biggest dots where the lightest part of the bow tie is, if you want to make the dots give it more dimension. And if you want every dot to be the same size, then you have to dip the brush every time. If you want the dots to help you achieve dimension, then you just keep dotting, because they'll get successively smaller. I have enough paint on this palette to dot for the rest of my days. A person doesn't need this much paint by any means. Okay, and then we'll have to dot the knot. There you go, dot the knot. All right, Mary, he's got gold. He's got gold on him. He's got gold on him. Oh, that would be great, Signa. So there we go. He's got a dotty, spotty. He's got, okay, don't mess up on us. He's got a dotty, spotty necktie. All right, so you see him happening. I'm going to set this away, because if I don't, I know a certain cat that will jump up here, and that probably was what I was going to tell you earlier when I sidetracked myself about painting and we were talking about cats and all that kind of stuff. It's not unusual for me to be painting, and Chance, especially when he hadn't been here very long, would jump up on the table from nowhere. I wouldn't even see him coming. I was not used to having cats that did that, and that's what he was like. He would just jump from nowhere, right in the middle, because he wanted to be on my lap. And he jumped in the middle of my palette, on several occasions. Fortunately, I was working with acrylic paint. And man, I could be really fast when I need to. My reflexes can be really fast if I have to have them be fast. And man, I could grab that cat, because he would get paint in through his pads, and then he could take off, and then we have painty paws everywhere, like bad news. Bad news. Oh, you like his eyes? Oh, thank you. All right, hold the fort. I will be back. I'll go get a piece of Rosemaling. I think I only have one that I can put my hand on to show you, but I'll go get it. Actually, neither one of these are the piece that I was going to show you. Because I don't remember where the other piece is. It must be stuck under the basement steps or something. Well, basement. That's another story. Anyway, this piece that I'm going to show you, this is Telmark. Both of these are Telmark. And they're going to show up a lot brighter on camera than they actually are. But this is Telmark style Rosemaling, and it's a plate. And this I did in '81, so it's got some age on it, man. It's got some age on it. Can you believe one more year it's going to be 40 years old? Yeah, that's right. So anyway, this is Telmark, and then I happen to think of this piece. The piece I was going to show you, I'll see if I can look for it, is actually the Raglan style. It's symmetrical, but I don't know what I did with it. So that's this one, and it's a wooden plate. And then this is the other piece. So these are in the same general style. This is more symmetrical, but it's not. Raglan style, whatever's on one side's on the other, you know, so it's very symmetrical. I'll see if I can find the other piece. Anyway, this is a box, and so I did this in '81 too. Same color scheme as the other one. No, it's a blue piece. Clausman is trying to help me out. But anyway, so that's what I was talking about. But it's a lot of, it's a folk art painting, and Signa can correct me, because she's in the chat, and she's actually from Norway. You think that's high praise coming from Signa. You know, I learned from an American, and that wasn't her specialty, you know, but it was really fun to do. I love doing this kind of stuff. This is all done in oil. Yeah, it's done in oils. Anyway, I'm not that skilled at it, but you know, I love doing it. So yeah, the cabinet doors were. Oh, this was when we did that. We moved in there in '78, so it's probably about the same time I did these, probably in the '80s, early '80s. And the cabinets had an inset in them, like a frame with an inset. So I painted the inset like a cream color, and then I edged close to the frame. I edged it, like shadowed it with something, as I recall. And then the colors were all done in kind of the earth tones, because it was a country kitchen. I'm sure whoever, that house has been sold several times, I'm sure whoever came in after that went, what in the world is this? And probably ripped them all down, threw them out, or painted over them. But Rosemaling can be kind of textured, so I'm sure it never, if they tried to paint over it, it never hid. They might have wallpapered over it, who knows? Anyway, I got the pleasure of doing it, so that was all that's all I ever worry about, is I like doing it to start with, and then if it leaves me and goes on somewhere else, and somebody throws it away, or somebody puts it in a, gets rid of it or donates it or whatever, I got the pleasure of doing it to begin with, so it doesn't matter. Any hoot. There is a town that in Iowa, and can I remember the name of the town? What's the name of the town? It's right there. Town in Iowa that is Norwegian, heavily Norwegian influenced, and lots of Rosemaling. There's a museum there. Oh man, we were there years and years ago. It was just, it was great. It was great. What was the name of that town? Decorah, Iowa. Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Anyway, I should do a class. I would have to really brush up on Rosemaling, because you have to have good brushes, and you really need to do it in oils, I think, because it gives you the flow of the paint. And I don't do oils anymore, honestly. I don't know if I could stand the smell of the oils anymore. As I've gotten older, odors bother me a lot more than they did. When I was younger, it was like nothing bothered me. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. We'll see. All right, that is it for today. So, Chance has his eyes done. Chance's eyes are done. So he's beginning to emerge from the paint. He's beginning to emerge from the paint. See these polka dots? Yeah, so he's coming to life bit by bit. So if you want to see more, maybe we'll keep on working on him next week. The sponsors were out to begin with, actually, Ellie. So he was there. No, not Fargo. Not Fargo. Yeah, his signature for real. Anyway, if you want to come back next week, we will keep working on him. I think I'll just wait till next week and we'll work on him. I just had Chance out. Charlie was all up in the window. He just doesn't care about coming out here and posing for people most of the time now. So it was just Chance. But he likes to hog the entire camera time. So Linda wants to see the end result. Okay, you're going to have to come. You're going to have to wait for it, Linda. You're going to have to wait for it. All right, I'll see you guys later. Remember, I can't even get the words out of my mouth. I need a nap in the worst way. It's like, so my mouth and my brain reboot and start working together. Anyway, remember to get creative today, because you know it's easy. I'll see you guys next week. Come over to HowToGetCreative.com. Check us out. And get your Mandala Madness cards and join the membership and whatever else you want to do. There's lots of things to check out and explore at HowToGetCreative.com. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your day. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. See you later.